Most important thing is to be able to define which ones you can come to an intelligent decision on and which ones are beyond your capacity to evaluate.
As Warren Buffett said, your decision matters a lot. It determines whether you'll fall into a financial trap or not. But to make the right decision, you've got to have all the facts. These facts allow you to make a more informed decision. So take a look at this. Do you know that 11.6% of Americans live in poverty despite being ranked the richest nation in terms of GDP? But the good news is, after doing my research on Warren Buffett, I discovered he's shown us the 10 money traps that we fall victim to. And it starts with the pay later trap.
Probably if I had one piece of advice to give to young people, that across the board, it would be just don't get in debt. The game plays a lot easier if you're a little bit ahead of the game than...
You know what's interesting? There's this new trend in the financial world that caught my attention: buy now, pay later. This lending model has already taken Australia by storm and is rapidly gaining popularity in the US, with a 300% increase each year since 2018. About 1/3 to 1/2 of Americans have tried out these services. And you know who's really embracing this trend? The Gen Z. It's like they fully embraced the idea of buy now, pay later and made it their mantra. Now here's a rule I live by: spend 20% of what I have, and if it's more than that, then I don't buy. So what exactly is this trap all about? Well, it's pretty straightforward. These services allow you to split your payments for an item or service into 4 interest-free installments spread over a couple of weeks. It used to be mostly an online thing, but guess what? Now you can even find it in physical stores. Remember layaway? You'd tell the store, "Hey, I can't afford this shiny shoe right now, but hold on to it for me. I'll make monthly payments until I can buy it." Well, now that concept is going digital with apps like Klarna and Afterpay. Remember, like in the famous words of Warren Buffett, the first rule is don't lose money. And if it doesn't generate any money for you, it's never okay to finance it. Number 2, the 0% APR. APR are these sneaky little numbers that reveal the true cost of borrowing money. Whether you're dealing with credit cards, loans, or any other line of credit, APR shows you how much you'll be paying to borrow that sweet moolah. Now, imagine a magical credit card that says, "Hey buddy, no interest for you." That's where the 0% intro APR credit cards come into play. They give you this fantastic ability to make purchases or transfer balances without being slapped with any interest charges. It's like a temporary interest vacation. With 0% APR, you can get 2 offers. One for new purchases and another for balance transfers. These 2 offers lure you in with a sweet deal that lets you make the purchase because you don't have to worry about interest for a certain length of time. And if you're burdened with credit card debt already, they might even extend a helping hand, allowing you to transfer your balance from another card and revel in some interest-free benefits. Number 3, Ponzi scheme.
You don't need a lot of brains in this business. I mean, I've always said if you got an IQ of 160, give away 30 points to somebody else because you don't need it in investments. What you do need is emotional stability. You have to be able to think independently, and you have to be when you come to a conclusion, you have to really not care what other people say and just follow the fact.
Like Buffett said, you've got to be able to think independently to avoid the traps of these so-called get-quick-rich schemes. I mean, don't you think it's far-fetched to buy into some so-called ultimate masterclass that promises to make you rich in just 90 days without doing anything? Do you know that about 1 in 10 adults in the United States fall victims to scams every year? Trust me, I've been a victim also, but after spending a whole lot of money on online courses and education, I was able to dig myself out of this hole. And let me emphasize this. If you're investing in online courses or education, make sure it's something that teaches you a valuable skill or helps you develop one. The key is to focus on improving your financial education and learning how to invest your money wisely. You might want to learn about investing in bonds. The last thing you want to do is fall for a system that promises to make you rich effortlessly, because in reality, the only person who gets rich from these schemes is the person selling them. Your chances with these schemes are slim. If you sign up, you have better odds of being struck by lightning than getting rich through them. Number 4, buying expensive gifts. We have all been brought up with the tradition of buying gifts to show you care about people, and these have always kept the broke people going round in circles. I mean, from graduations to weddings to baby showers, these events never end, and as you show your love through these gifts, money continually leaves your pocket. An average American household spends $514 on gifts to family members. That's a lot of dough. Now, don't get me wrong, giving gifts is a wonderful way to express your love and appreciation, but sometimes it's worth considering some alternate options like writing your friends a heartfelt card expressing your love. And if that doesn't feel right to you, another option is to talk openly with your friends about setting a limit on gift spending. This way, everyone agrees to spend no more than, let's say, $20 on gifts. It keeps things fair and affordable for everyone involved. Number 5. Credit card debt.
I would say, avoid credit cards. Just forget about them. We're in various businesses that issue credit cards. The American public loves credit cards. But if you start revolving debt on credit cards, you're going to be paying 18 or 20%. And you can't make progress in your financial life going around borrowing money at 18 or 20%.
Credit card debt is the rope that banks love to keep around our neck. Just imagine any time we pass through a store and see anything shiny with our account maxed out. The bank gives us a chance to buy something extra with their money, and this comes with a high interest rate of about 18 to 20%. I mean, that's a lot. Just imagine you have $1,500 to spare every month, which you decide to invest. Now, let's assume that you can achieve a 19% annual return on your investments. By consistently investing this amount every month, in just 5 years, you will have accumulated over $200,000. In 10 years, it'll be over $750,000. And in 13 years, you're already a millionaire. Number 6. Smoking and vaping. It's natural to want to have fun and enjoy yourself. But this fun also comes as a cost to our pocket. Can you believe that 11.5% of adults in America are smokers? And with someone smoking a pack a day, that's about $266 a week. That eventually amounts to $13,800 a year. Imagine blowing about $14 grand per year to buy a substance that affects your health without getting anything substantial in return. Not only do these habits harm your physical health, but they also take a toll on your pocket, especially if you're already facing a tight budget. Now, I'm not saying you can't have any fun at all. It's about finding alternative ways to enjoy yourself that don't involve these harmful substances. There are countless activities and experiences out there that can bring you joy without emptying your wallet or compromising your well-being. Consider exploring new hobbies, meeting up with friends for a game night, or taking a creative endeavor. Maybe you'll discover a passion for painting, writing, or even dancing. Engaging in activities that stimulate your mind and body can bring you genuine fulfillment without the negative consequences. Remember, it's all about finding a balance that works for you. Prioritize your health, both physically and mentally, as well as your financial stability. By making conscious choices and exploring healthier alternatives, you can have plenty of fun and still live a fulfilling life. Number 7. Invest wisely.
I bought a book in 1949 by a fellow named Ben Graham called The Intelligent Investor. It's very important to have the right framework. You need to have an approach to investing that's sound. And Graham's approach is simple, but some people adopt to it, which I did immediately, and most people don't. If you have the right philosophy, you will find opportunities as you go through the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And frankly, you're most likely to find them in periods like 5 years ago when we were having the panic. I mean, stocks sell at silly prices from time to time. Most stocks at one time or another sell at very silly prices. It doesn't take a high IQ to figure out that they're cheap, but it does take a temperament that's willing to step up.
In the famous words of Warren Buffett, you don't need a high IQ when investing. All you need is the right temperament. But we don't always follow this advice and often rush into a new market without the proper understanding we need to succeed there. And this often leads to loss of our investment. We've all been given the story of how to increase our money through crypto. But how many of us know that 38 out of every 100 people sell their crypto for less than what they bought them for? Similarly, prior to the 2008 financial crisis, real estate appeared to be an unstoppable investment opportunity. Unfortunately, many individuals jumped into the market without fully understanding the complexities of the mortgage industry and its associated risks. Consequently, when the housing bubble burst, numerous people suffered substantial financial setbacks. In a parallel manner, during the late 1990s, the dot-com bubble emerged, where investors poured their life savings into internet-based companies. Many of these investors lacked a comprehensive understanding of the underlying business models and valuations. Consequently, when the bubble burst in the early 2000s, countless individuals lost substantial amounts of money. To become a successful investor, it is essential to invest in assets and ventures that you can genuinely understand. Instead of blindly following the crowd or investing in the latest fad, take time to educate yourself about the investment opportunity. Ask yourself, why are you investing, and consider the potential future prospects and how you can generate profits. By investing in what you comprehend, you'll be better equipped to evaluate risks, make informed decisions, and increase your chances of long-term success. Number 8. Fancy cars.
Actually, I picked out the car I have based on the fact that it had airbags on both sides. So that was a factor. It may have been the first car of its type ever made with airbags, but I think my car actually, it's both heavy and has airbags, and those are two primary factors in safety.
Yeah, like Warren Buffett said, safety should be your number one concern when picking a car. Why go for a fancy car with a high price when it will lose a significant chunk of value within the first year? In fact, it could lose up to 20% of its value during that time. And it doesn't stop there. As the years go by, it continues to depreciate at a rate of about 15% per year until the 4 or 5 year mark. Now here's the kicker. Think about the average American household spending around $716 on monthly car payments for new cars. When you combine that with the constant decrease in value, you're left with a liability instead of an asset. And let's not forget about the interest you have to pay to finance your car as well. Essentially, we're shelling out money to maintain a car that doesn't bring in any income. On top of that, we're also paying interest just to keep driving this depreciating asset. I get it. Cars are one of the things that make our day-to-day life easier and appear wealthy. But we need to ask ourselves, do you want to look rich or actually be rich? If our main priority is just to give off the impression of wealth, then sure, you can continue paying for that fancy car. It certainly helps create that image. However, if our ultimate goal is to genuinely build wealth, then we need to prioritize our financial decisions. Instead of pouring all our money into a car that doesn't generate any income, consider redirecting some of those funds towards investments. Number 9. Pay yourself first. Have you ever wondered what it means to pay yourself first? Well, it's actually a personal finance strategy to help you prioritize saving and control your spending. The idea is to automatically put a portion of your income into a designated savings or investment account before you start paying bills or making other purchases. The concept is pretty simple. You take care of yourself first by setting aside some money for savings before figuring out what to do with the rest of your income. Of course, it is still important to keep up with your debts and other bills, because falling behind could hurt your credit and lead to extra expenses in the form of interest charges and fees. Furthermore, you should allocate some of your income into an investment account. By doing so, you allow your money to grow and work for you, contributing to the growth of your wealth. With this approach, you only live off what remains after paying yourself first. Essentially, you are establishing a solid savings cushion, which eliminates the need to worry about financial emergencies and going into debt when unexpected expenses arise, such as car repairs. Simultaneously, your investments generate additional income, as your money is actively working to build your wealth. Number 10. Learn to cope with your emotions. Nearly 1 in 5 adults goes through a depression, and to cope with this, most people practice retail therapy, as it provides them with a temporary sense of relief. But this doesn't address the underlying issues that are causing their distress. It only leads to more financial problems, as 24% of Americans are in debt because their emotions got in the way of spending. Instead, let's think outside the box and find alternative therapies that can truly help improve your well-being. For instance, going on a walk can be incredibly therapeutic. Not only does it give you a chance to clear your mind and release pent-up emotions, but it also provides an opportunity to connect with nature, which is shown to have a positive impact on mental health. You could also try listening to an audiobook while you walk. Engaging with a captivating story or gaining knowledge from a nonfiction book can divert your focus away from negative thoughts and transport you to a different world or help you learn something new. If walking isn't your cup of tea, there are countless other activities that you can explore. Perhaps you can engage in a creative outlet like painting, writing, or playing an instrument. These activities can serve as a form of self-expression and allow you to channel your emotions in a productive and fulfilling way. Alternatively, you might consider practicing mindfulness or meditation. Taking the time to sit in stillness and observe your thoughts without judgment can help you to gain clarity, reduce stress, and develop a greater sense of self-awareness.